Hello, Joe, and welcome to your 10th diary entry. I can't believe we've been doing this for 10 weeks now, and so much has happened. You are literally boxed in right now. Thank you for the visual. We really appreciate it. We left you last week straight out of the auction room. It was a pretty emotional time. We're meeting you this week in the midst of your home that is being packed away. What's happened in the last week? How are you feeling? Give us the update.
Okay. Well, I would love to say we're just doing this for effect with me sitting on the floor, literally with boxes around, but they've packed all my chairs up, so I haven't got any chairs. So I'm sitting on the floor in our spare room with boxes, and I don't know if you can hear in the background, like Smooth FM playing on the radio. So I've been listening to a whole lot of like 80s bangers all day while I've been busy packing. And it's been funny actually because people are like, oh my God, someone comes and packs it all up for you. And I'd sort of forgotten how much you actually still need to do for them.
Yeah.
And look, last time we moved, we kind of cheated because again, the joys of having a farm, we had a big shed out in behind the house and we just put everything in the shed. And so this time we don't have that shed to store stuff in, and so we've actually had to do a lot of culling and does this really need to come, and do we actually need to store this? Like, can we imagine that we're going to use this in 5 years time or want this in 5 years time? So I've done about 5 runs into town to the charity shop, dropping off furniture and toys and clothes and all of these different things. But I'm actually I'm actually feeling really good. Last night was our last night in the house. I slept horribly, but it was good. Um, Woke up to one very sort of upset child and one who has totally just come to terms with the whole thing. And it is the opposite who have been like, so it was the older one that was actually awesome this morning. And so, bit of emotions. Hugh is running on Thailand time. He got home yesterday, and so it was like 2 o'clock in the morning while in Thailand when he's sort of up trying to get kids ready to school and on the bus and all of those things. So um, there was a few like heated conversations this morning, but everyone seems to have like caffeinated adequately and is sort of getting into the swing of things. So yeah, we are in a service department tonight in Wagga, and then sort of last we're sort of just cleaning then after this.
And you gave a few spoilers there in case people were listening really keenly. The fact that you're not going to have a shed in your future, and that was the last night in your house. So, what has happened in the last week with your house?
So it's the most ridiculous thing, and this is where I guess network works magic for you, but also just like the ridiculousness of things. So I saw you just after the auction and the house had been passed in. One of my friends works for the same company that was the agent that was selling the house, and he came to the auction, and then he manages the store in Wagga, and so he went back to the office after the auction and was talking to one of their other staff members, and he said, what have you been doing? And I said, I've just been at this auction. And this staff member said, oh, I saw that. Oh, I didn't actually think that would be in my price range. And then it was like, oh, but that is. So then rang his mortgage broker. So this was Thursday last week. Rang his mortgage broker on Thursday, got pre-approval, did an inspection on Friday morning, and we are now Wednesday morning. So by Tuesday night, had put in an offer that we've accepted.
A real turnaround in a week. And yeah, in the most surprising of places, you would have thought that maybe that had been communicated in the office, but amazing what networks can do, as you say.
Yeah, so it's pretty crazy. So anyway, they've obviously
And
still got to sign a
congratulations, Joe.
contract. So
I think after our conversation last week, I'm just so happy that you get to actually say goodbye to this house and this property and start fresh when you get to Bangkok.
Mm. Well, I'm hoping that everything sort of goes smoothly. Like, he still needs to sign a contract and it still needs to settle, and there's still a few hurdles and bridges to cross before we're actually shot of it. But yes, thank you. I appreciate that. I am feeling just so much closer to feeling better today than I was this time last week. So, yeah, pretty wild times. So I don't know. I feel we, not by design at all, but have actually sort of nailed this next sort of transition part. So we have a service department for a week in town, that so the kids will still keep going to school. So we sort of transition out of house but are still doing life. And then we're going away with my husband's family for 5 nights for my father-in-law's birthday. So it won't be here, but it will be with family. So another sort of easing out of things. And then we fly to Bangkok from that little holiday. So
Wow.
it seems to be doing things a little bit more smoothly for the kids, rather than being like, okay, great, we've sold your house, we're getting on a plane tomorrow and see ya.
Yes, but you have had another big goodbye in the last 24 hours with your dog.
Yeah, the dog. I was like, who are you talking about? Obviously not the dog lover here. It's
I'm
like,
glad I
what?
listened keenly to our conversations.
I
I
know.
heard your
Well, you
kids
think.
were traumatized.
Well, actually, we've managed to ease that off a little bit as well. So the dog has actually gone to my in-laws' place for the week while we're still here, so that they can go and have some more time with the dog. And then we will actually, I'm just leaving it to my best friend to organise with her mother and to go and pick it. I'm done with the dog. I'm actually not going to give the dog any more thought.
No more good.
And yeah, so yes, but that was a bit. Um, I think we're delaying the inevitable for a little longer with the dog, so that's quite good. And again, that's been a nice sort of little ease through of things. So anyway, all of these like hot tips that people could like take on from these things that actually haven't been things that I've planned. So it's actually working quite well.
What about those final school farewells and things for your kids? How are you managing that?
To be fair, they're like they keep sort of asking to do things and I keep sort of brushing them. So they both have only just had birthdays, so it's been quite good. And we sort of treated those as a bit of a like wrapping up of things. So we've only got sort of 5 or 6 nights that we might we're going to like out to dinner the night before we leave with some friends, and I might just sort of throw that a bit wider and say, if you want it, we're just going to the pub. So if people want to come and have a meal with us, that they can. But to be fair, I haven't really done much. I have like said that potentially, and I haven't committed to it yet, but potentially I might let them have messenger kids on my phone that they're only allowed to have with their friends in Australia. I haven't sort of decided that yet. We don't do phones, so I sort of am a bit like, I really just don't want to do that. But realistically, I've got all their parents' phone numbers and things. They can ping them on WhatsApp or FaceTime or those sorts of things. So again, I'm sort of just
Seeing how.
slowly ignoring those things. And also, we we only have like a term of school, and then they've got their huge summer break. So I'm actually thinking that they will probably come back to Australia in like 3 months anyway for a considerable amount of time. So that's been yet another sort of delaying things, and
Yeah.
the joys of only going into another part of Asia rather than us being in Europe or North America or somewhere where it's a lot harder logistics wise to bring them home. So yeah, it's good.
A lot happening.
Mm, yeah, yeah. But it's interesting. My mother-in-law was just here this morning and was asking me like, how are you feeling? About the house, and are you upset? And I was like, nah, see ya.
It sounds like she's trying to be me, trying to build content into
She
this.
literally is. I
I'm done, thanks.
think so.
Maybe I
She's
can
like,
invite her on for a
yeah, I
diary.
know, right? Like, what about the view? What about this? And I was like, every time people keep asking me this, I'm like, I feel like a sociopath that's like not being upset, but I'm like really keen to close out chapter like we've talked about and get going and get started on the next ones. Um, I'm not a stuff person. Though I say that, we have so much stuff. Like when you see it boxed up and you're just like, what do we even need all of this for? So, but I'm not a stuff person or a place person. I'm a people person, and so my people are coming with me. So I'm not nostalgic. I'm not like I appreciate that this has been an amazing place to live for the last 10 years. Mine is our stint in Singapore, but
Yeah. And I do think that is also because in this move, it's your personality, but also this hasn't this has been easy in many respects in terms of all the support, but it also has been quite a challenging
mm,
10 weeks that we've been on the journey with you. And particularly, you know, this last week, but we've had heaps of weeks like this where there's been one big thing to another and the waiting and the uncertainty. And so there's been a lot of stress associated with it. So I think it's kind of fair enough that you're
mm.
just ready to say, I'm done with this.
Yeah. Well, do you know what's interesting? I ate my whole dinner last night, my first sort of full meal I've eaten in like 2 weeks, which I didn't really realize, but like I couldn't even finish my breakfast. I've just been so like anxious and heightened, I guess, and I just have been off food, which is not me whatsoever. I am very good on the tooth, so I am. But like last night, I polished off my whole dinner, and I was like, "Oh right, that's right. You you can eat a whole meal. You're not like a a 3-year-old child poking around at your meal." So yeah, I agree. But you just like even you saying 10 weeks, like in any other time you think, oh God, 10 weeks, that's ages away, or, that's a considerably long period of time. But like, I was on a holiday at the beach when we started doing this in the summer. Like, that is crazy that this has actually turned around in that quicker time.
Yeah, it's fast.
Yeah. Yep.
And so I'm not wanting to force you to be sentimental, but I actually, hearing you talk about not being able to finish a meal, it's been really interesting hearing the different things that have come up for you in when you're stressed and the
Mm,
ways that you haven't been looking after yourself, like not eating, not sleeping, not doing the self-care pieces that we forced you to do. And you've had your last night in this house. This is your last sort of time on the property. Are you going to go for a walk? Are you going to do something to sort of close this out? And if not, can you? Because I actually am with your mother-in-law here. I think you should. You are in a beautiful place. I think it will feel good for you just to do it. And also, it is nice to be a little sentimental sometimes. Let's like make sure you're not a sociopath or whatever.
yeah. Well, I thought of you yesterday and was like, "Ugh, I hope she doesn't ask me if I've been doing my my jobs. I haven't been for a single walk this week. I haven't done like any. Oh, actually, do you know what I have done? I have booked. I got a voucher for Christmas from my sister-in-law, and I've booked in to have a facial on Friday.
Excellent.
Very
I love that.
excited. Um, but while you were talking just then, I think so. The kids are catching the bus home from school here this afternoon, so I'll have to go and get them from the bus. But I think I'll wait until the removalists have left, but I think we might have to go and have one more nudie swim in the pool, which we are not going to get to do with an apartment building full of people being able to look into the pool in Bangkok. One more swim with no neighbours and no need for swimming costumes.
I love that. Yes. That some more moments like that.
Yeah,
Celebrate the little things and the
yeah,
place that you're in. It's okay to be focused on this finishing, but it's also a big chapter and if you're not doing it for you, do it for your kids.
yeah, fair. I will take that. It was so funny though. Like I feel like it's one of those things like where you try and make yourself cry in a sad movie or thing so people don't think you're crazy. I the other night I'd put the kids to bed and I was like, right, I'm going to go and be sentimental and I'm going to go and sit outside and I'm going to read my book. And I lasted about 3 minutes before I was attacked by mosquitoes. So I was just like, ugh, I'm trying.
Yeah. I mean, it has to feel real as well. There's no point
Yeah.
torturing yourself.
Yeah. I was like, this is not helping me make me want to miss this.
And I think I'm just because your third homework was sharing with your network and calling out for help. And you actually did do that a couple of weeks ago when you went over to your girlfriend's place and worked from her warehouse and got her to help out. So I think you have been doing that just so you can report back for yourself and know that
Definitely.
you've
Oh,
done a
yep.
few.
Yep, no, it's good. And I have tried to have like a coffee with lots of friends. So I've been trying to sort of see someone each day um, in town, which has been really good. And as far as my psychologist, I booked in my next 6 months worth of appointments. So all the dates are in the calendar so that I
Excellent.
don't get like, oh, we're moving like this. So that's good. So apart from the walking, I've done the other two. Two from three is not so bad.
That's pretty good. And how's your list making going? Because that fell off when in your stress as well.
Did. And do you know what? I wrote a list this week that I have smashed through. So imagine that, doing the things that work for you to make life easier. Like,
Yeah, but when you're feeling overwhelmed and stressed, it's easy for these things to fall away as well. And I think it's a really good reminder in just being kind to yourself. And sometimes you just need someone to prompt you back into that
yeah,
space of what makes me feel good.
yeah. You just need a
And
bully in your life. Thank you. Thank you.
you're welcome. Um, what does the next week look like? So you've had your last night in your house, you're moving into your service department, you're sort of continuing business as usual, but it's not. It's the beginning of the wind down. So, what are we looking out for to check in with you next week?
I'll have to look at the calendar and see physically where I will be when we dial in for next week. Hopefully, it's like, actually, do you know where it's going to be? It's going to be like on the side of the highway driving to Sydney to go to the airport. So I'll be in the car for 6 hours. So, yeah, we can do that. Or it might be that I will be poolside on the family holiday. Maybe that's going to be more appealing. We might need to rejig our week next week. Look, realistically, day to day life will be the same without a like 45-kilometer drive each way, which will be quite nice. Like being able to walk down to have coffee and walk down to my office, which will be good. Um, and yeah, just trying to sort of, I don't know. I think next week will be pretty much guided by what the kids want to do. If they want to hang out with some friends after school, we've just timed it this term, like this time of the year. The kids don't actually have any afternoon there's no sport. They're not playing sport in this term, and they've got like an art class on a Thursday that we do in the afternoons. But apart from that, like they can pretty much do some hanging out with friends and things. I guess what kids do when they live in town. I don't know. I don't know what people do when they live in town.
Heading to the big smoke before you head to the
Yeah,
real big
yeah,
smoke.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I think I will try and lean into it being sort of guided by them a fair bit. I think like Hugh will be running sort of still, you know, random hours. Like he had a meeting at midnight last night that, that he had to sit up for. So he'll be sort of running those hours for the week. And I don't know, luckily I still have an office that I can maybe send him to rather than him doing those meetings late at night from an apartment in town. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just going to sort of play it by ear. I've
If there's
tried to
a,
keep my calendar as clear with meetings and things as possible. I've just pretty much got into the zone in this last week being like, great to hear from you. I can't even like contemplate talking to you till mid next month. Like, can we reschedule? Which has been good. And everyone's like, oh my God, of course. So yeah, it's good.
Excellent. Well, I am going to look forward to seeing you hopefully poolside or highway side in a week's time. I am so happy that there was a resolution to the house and that you are now
Yes.
close to a resolution. Sorry, I can see we have a pessimist on our hands. We'll
I am a realist. I'm looking at the turnaround from this guy even knowing this place existed to like making an offer that was accepted. I'm being realistic, and then if that falls over, then you're going to have me rocking in the corner. There will be maybe a padded cell rather than just padded
all
boxes
right.
around me.
Look, content is content, so we'll take what we can
Yeah,
get.
of course. Love a good straight jacket for content.
But I hope this wind down goes well, and can't wait for the update in a week when you're almost on your way out of Australia.
We can actually do one of these from the airport when we're leaving in
I
two
love that.
weeks.
Yep, let's do it.
Okay. I feel we
Okay.
can apologize in advance that the sound quality is not going to be fabulous with like announcements of flights going in the background. Uh, Again,
Work with
content,
it.
content, content.
All right. See you next week, Joe.
See you.